Welcome to another Tech Tip Tuesday, and today I'm going to show you how to move your game library to another hard drive. So no matter whether you're with Blizzard'sBattle.net, EA Origins, Epic Games, Steam, or the Windows Xbox Game Pass, I will show you how to move your entire game library to another hard drive, and also how to move it to an external hard drive as well, and show you a couple of extra steps that will allow you to use that external hard drive to play those games on any PC in your house without having to download it to lots of different locations. I'll also give you my verdict at the end of it of which solution I think is suitable for which purpose. Welcome to my tech gear, let's get into it. And before we go any further, if you do enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and share it. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell so you're notified about new videos as and when I post them. Really helps me grow my channel so that I can keep making videos like this for you. Thanks. So the first thing we want to do is set up our new hard drive. So whether that's external or internal, it doesn't really matter too much for this purpose. What you'll find is, hopefully, you will have a new drive. If it's an external drive, I've plugged this in and it's my drive that's here and I've labeled it as Z. You might have D, E, F, G or whatever, but it should be all set up. Now, if you haven't formatted it already, then you should go and do that as well. Now, one thing that I would say is really useful if you're going to use an external hard drive and you want to use it across multiple PCs is set a fixed letter for your hard drive that is way away from where all the other letters are, so it's unlikely to get in conflict with anything else on whatever PC you plug it into. So I've set this to Z. So in order to do that, if I just type in disk, and here should be a create, there you go, create and format hard disk. So if I click on that, here you will see my OneTouch, right? So it's a Seagate OneTouch hard drive that I've got set up here. So I've got the drive letter of Z. Originally when I put that in, it was a E. So to change it, you right click here and you do change drive letter and path. You can then change it to whatever else you want to. So I've got it to Z already, but if you want to change it, you click on change and you can assign whatever letter you want here. That means every time you plug it in, it's going to be assigned that letter. That's really critical to make sure that you can then use it on other devices. So set it to something like X, Y, or Z. Once you've done that, we'll go back to this. So the easiest one to start with is probably Blizzard'sBattle.net, and all we want to do here really is cut and paste the games folder from wherever it is at the moment and paste it to the new folder and then tell Blizzard that that's where it is. So in order to do that, you need to go to where the games are originally installed. If you don't know where that is, on the top left, go to Blizzard and Settings, and if you go to Game Settings, it will now tell you the installation folder. So you now want to go to that folder. Now, if you've just used the default settings, your directory will probably say C, Program Files, Black Ops or something like that. So go to that folder. So I can go here, but I've already got this set up. So in my Windows Explorer here, if I now go to that folder, so what I would be doing if this was on my C drive, I would be cutting this to my directory. So I've set up a folder called games on my external hard drive, which is Z, and I've pasted it here. So then when you go back to blizzard.net, when you say use different folder, you would tell it the folder of wherever that new folder is that you want to go. Select that folder and that's all set up and done. The next time you play the game, it will then use the directory in your new drive and not on the, say, the C drive that you had it in originally. So that's Blizzard all done. So probably second easiest on the list is EA Origins, and here I would do two things. One is I would set up the default folder so that it knows to install games to the new drive you've got installed from now on, and the second thing is to move all the games that are on the current hard drive to the new one. So to set the default folder, on the top left you want to go to Origins, Application Settings, and there's an install and saves option across the top, and here you set your games library location. So again, similar to the battle.net, it would probably be C, Program Files, Origins to start with. You want to change that to whatever your folder is. So here it's Z Games Origin. So on the right, you just change and select your folder here. That's that one done. On the game itself, you want to go to your game library. And if I right click here, there's an option called Move Game. and there you just select the folder that you want to move it to. And EA will then just move the game for you. So that will actually take a while because it's on 2 different drives and it's got to copy it across. But once that's all done, then your game is moved to the new drive, and that's it. So Epic Games is a little bit trickier here, but you want to do something similar to what you've done with the others. So you want to copy the game library from the original folder location to your new location. So they will be under C, Program Files, Epic Games, if you're using the default path. And I'll show you that here. So under my C drive and Program Files, there will be an Epic Games folder, and here is Fortnite. Okay, so that's the Fortnite game. What I want to do is I want to copy that, and you want to copy that to your Z drive, to wherever you want. So under my games, I've got Epic Games and I've got Fortnite. So I would copy it here. Once that's copied across, what you now have to do is rename it, which is what I've done here already. And renaming it is literally just put an underscore in front of it, just put something in front of it so that the Epic Games store doesn't recognize it. Once you've done that, you then go back into Epic Games and you click on Install. Now that is going to ask you to choose a location. So I actually want it to install on the Z drive. So I've got my Z Games Epic Games, which is a folder I showed you beforehand, and I'm going to click on Install. What you then have to do is pause it when it's about 2% in. So if I click on Install now, it's going to install eventually. And when it hits about 2%, I then want to pause it and cancel it. Right? So now if I go back to that folder that you saw, that Fortnite folder is actually there where it tried to install. So all you do is you delete that, and then you rename this to the folder name that it should be. So now you've taken the full Fortnite folder, or any game for that matter, copied it from the C drive to the new location, tricked Epic Games into starting the download so it knows the folder and directory that it should be going to, and then just swapped the empty file, because that's all it, or the empty directory, because that's all it would be after a couple of percent, and swapped it for the full version. The next time you then play that, that will then pick up the new version, and you'll be good to go. For Steam to use the new drive, we need to add it as a destination folder for any future downloads, and then we need to move any current games to that new directory or new drive as well. So to add a new folder destination, we need to go up to the top left and do Steam and Settings. Once you've done that, if we go to Downloads, and there are Steam library folders. So if I click on that, you can see I've already added one here. So the default was C Program Files Steam. I've added one already, which is Z Games Steam. If you need to add another one, you can just do Add Folder there. You can choose any drive you want, and then go and select that particular folder that you want. Once you've added that, you can then click on Close and OK. Now we need to go and move the actual game itself. All of your games you've got installed are on the left-hand side here. So if I click on Half-Life Alyx here, now if I right-click on that, and then you go down to Properties. Now under Properties, you want to click on Local Files. And in Local Files, there's an option called Move Install Folder. So if I click on Move Install Folder, I can choose where I want to move it. Now, because I've only had 2 folders that we set up before, which was the C drive and the Z, and it's already on C drive, it's given me Z drive as the only option. So I can move it to that and click on Move Folder, and it will move that game. When that's finished and I click on Play, it's going to take it from that new folder rather than the original C drive. So that is then Steam all set up. And last but not least, we have the Xbox Game Pass, and here we do something similar to what we did with Steam previously. So we change or add the default location, so all future games go to the new drive, and then we move the existing games to that new drive as well. So to change the default drive, on the top right you want to click on your icon, which is your ID, and click on Settings. Now in the Settings under General, there is an option for change where your apps are installed. Now with the Windows Game Pass, you can't choose a directory, you just choose a drive. So it originally was on C drive for me, and I've switched it to Z, which is the new external drive. Change that, which means all future games will go onto that drive. Close that, and that's that part done. Now for each game that you've already got installed, you now want to move that to the new drive. So to do that, you actually do that from the app drawer. So if I click on the Windows button on the keyboard and I type in apps, and I want to do add or remove programs. So I'm actually going to move Control, which was one of the apps that you saw on the screen previously. If I scroll down here, you will see Control is in my apps here. Now there's a move option. So if I click on that, it'll allow me to say what drive would I want to move it to. Now it's on C, I could move it to Z. If I click on move, it will move that game. Again, that will take a little while. Once that's complete though, the game will be moved to your new drive. It's a little bit laborious, but it's the only way. I'd love it if there was a bulk way of doing it, but you kind of have to do it one at a time. But once you've done all that, it means all future games will go on your new drive, all your existing games will be on your new drive. So now that all my games are now on my new hard drive, I'm all set up. For me, I got an external drive, so I got a Seagate OneTouch, a 4TB one that's here, and that's just plugged into a USB cable in the laptop. It does mean slower startup times. So for a game, for instance, it might take an extra 10 to 20 seconds longer because it's on an external hard drive. But if you can wait that amount of time, it's a really easy way to expand your storage without having to open the side of this, put a new internal one in. Plus, if you selected the same drive letter on your PC as you did on your laptop, you can unplug this from your PC, plug it into your laptop, and the laptop will recognize the games on there as well as the PC. So you're going to have one drive with all of your games on it, and then you can swap and play between laptops and PCs or multiple PCs or however you want to do it. It's a really good way of only having to buy one drive for multiple devices. Now, whilst I will say the load times for this is slower, you could get an external SSD instead and do all of what I've just said on that, and then you'd have really fast run times, but then that's significantly more expensive than just getting that. So it depends what you want. If you want the best of the best, then you're probably just going to plug an internal hard drive into here. If you want something that's just a hair behind it, I'd say an external SSD, but then that's going to cost quite a bit. If you want to be a bit more budget conscious and don't mind waiting a little bit longer for games to load, then an external hard drive for me is the way to go, and that's what I got. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful and gave you some ideas to go and try. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and share it. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit the button down below. And as always, see you in the next one.